Okay, have you ever really stopped to wonder what reality would look like if you just stripped away all of your assumptions? And I mean, every single one. Well, today, we're going to dive into an ancient Buddhist text that does exactly that. This is a philosophical journey, for sure, and it's one that's going to challenge our most basic ideas about who we are and what it even means to be here. So, let's get right into it. So the source for all of this is a text called the Discourse on the Perfection of Wisdom as spoken by Mañjuśrī. And look, this isn't some modern take or a new interpretation. Nope, we're going straight to the source, to the ancient dialogue itself. This is a conversation that has been puzzling and honestly enlightening people for centuries. Because, you see, that's exactly what this text is. It's a dialogue. But don't think of it as just a simple back-and-forth conversation. Oh no, it's more like a cosmic riddle, and it's a riddle that's designed to completely flip our entire understanding of the world on its head.
All right, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in the middle of the night. The Buddha is with this just huge assembly. I mean, we're talking over 100,000 of his most advanced followers. Monks, nuns, these enlightened beings they call bodhisattvas, the whole crew's there, gathered in a park in ancient India.
And then, suddenly, something extraordinary happens. The Buddha emits this powerful, brilliant, multicolored light that just radiates out across countless worlds, waking up everyone it touches. Now, this isn't just some pretty light show, you know? It's a cosmic signal. It's a sign that something incredibly profound is about to go down. So, drawn in by this light, the entire assembly gathers, and they wait.
So, the stage is set. The Buddha knows everyone is waiting. He comes out, takes his seat, and he turns to his wisest disciple, Mañjuśrī. Now, this guy is renowned for his incredibly deep insight, and the Buddha asks him a question that, on the surface, sounds almost ridiculously simple.
He asks, "Do you truly see the Buddha?" Now, think about it. You'd expect the answer to be, yeah, of course I do. You're right there, right? But what Mañjuśrī says next, well, that's what kicks off this whole philosophical mystery.
Mañjuśrī replies that the true nature of the Buddha, well, it can't be seen at all. He says it has no form, no shape, it doesn't come from anywhere, it doesn't go anywhere. I mean, that's a total paradox, right? How can you not see what's literally sitting right in front of you?
And hey, if you're sitting there feeling a little confused, don't worry, you are not alone. Another one of the great disciples, Śāriputra, immediately chimes in, and he's basically speaking for everyone there, and for us, really. He just says, "I do not understand what you are saying." And honestly, this makes the whole thing feel so much more relatable, doesn't it? Even the smartest students in the room are completely baffled.
Okay, so to explain his bizarre answer, Mañjuśrī begins this absolutely brilliant deconstruction of reality itself. He's basically saying, hey, the reason you can't understand me is because your most basic assumptions about how the world works are, well, they're flawed. And this really gets to the heart of the whole problem. You know, on one hand, you've got our usual view of the world. We think there's a separate me, that enlightenment is some kind of goal we have to get, and that things are either good or bad, pure or impure. But Mañjuśrī just flips this whole thing on its head. From the perspective of wisdom, he argues, these are all false distinctions. Self and other, not two separate things. Enlightenment, not something you gain. And purity and impurity, those are just labels we invent.
And this next idea is such a powerful metaphor for his point. He says that all beings are equal to space. Just let that sink in for a second. Think about space, right? It has no center, right? No edge. It contains everything, but you can't define it by any one thing inside it. What Mañjuśrī is saying here is that our true nature and the nature of everything and everyone is just like that, completely boundless and ultimately indefinable.
So here's the really crucial point. If you start to see reality this way, all the big concepts we build our lives, and let's be honest, our fears around, they just start to dissolve. From this ultimate perspective, there is no separate Buddha to find, no separate person to save, no separate enlightenment to attain. Even concepts like suffering to escape or good deeds to collect, they fall away.
So after completely taking apart our entire conceptual world, Mañjuśrī finally reveals the solution to the riddle. He starts to explain the nature of what's called Prajñāpāramitā, which translates to the perfection of wisdom.
And this is so important. This isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. Prajñāpāramitā is a direct, unfiltered seeing of reality as it actually is, without all the labels and the divisions we project onto it. It's seeing the world without the mental filter of gain-loss, self-other, is-isn't. And that is why Mañjuśrī couldn't see the Buddha in the way we normally think of seeing.
You know, the text gives this wisdom pretty much the highest praise possible. It calls it the mother of all Buddhas. So why such a big title? Well, because according to this teaching, this very realization, this direct perception of non-duality, is what enlightenment is. It's the very source from which all awakened beings are born.
Okay, so that all sounds pretty deep, but how do you actually practice it? The text breaks it down into three, well, pretty profound steps. But it's not about doing more or getting rid of anything. It's actually just about changing your relationship to reality. It means not grasping at things, not rejecting things, and seeing no real increase or decrease. You just let things be as they are.
And this next part just sums it up so perfectly. The practice isn't about doing something in the way we usually think. It's about a kind of radical non-interference. It's about seeing the world without adding all of our judgments and opinions and without trying to subtract the parts we don't like.
Now, as you can probably imagine, a teaching this profound has a dramatic effect on everyone who's listening. The text describes the impact as something that shakes the very foundations of the world.
And I mean that literally. The text says that as Mañjuśrī is speaking, the earth itself shakes in 6 different ways. Now, in these ancient texts, that's a classic sign. It means a truth of ultimate cosmic significance has just been spoken, a teaching so powerful it actually resonates with the physical world.
And the impact on the listeners, just as dramatic. The text tells us that when they hear this, a staggering 16,000 people in that assembly have a complete breakthrough, instantly. They attain total liberation, their minds just freed from all struggle right then and there.
And this really brings us to the ultimate point of this whole teaching. This is not just abstract, philosophical navel-gazing. The text is crystal clear. The entire reason for this wisdom is to extinguish fear. Specifically, that really deep-seated fear that comes from believing we're this separate self that is born and has to one day die. Which leaves us with this one final, powerful question to just sit with. If reality is really like this text describes it, the seamless, boundless whole, where nothing is ever truly gained or truly lost, then what really is there left to be afraid of? It's a question that just kind of echoes long after the dialogue is over.